hello and thank you for joining me for another ITY video. Today I have with me Alexander Slade. He is the CEO of A Corp and welcome to the program.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Now Alexander, you are famously 21 and you started this company when you were how old?
12 years old.
12, right, so it's nearly a decade. And look, let's just start at the beginning. Can you please tell us the short sort of version of how A Corp came to be, how you got involved in technology? You must have had parents getting you involved in it. And tell us a bit about the company and we'll go on from there.
Yeah, look, well, it definitely wasn't my parents because they're still pretty horrible at technology, which is fun.
So what was the spark then? You just loved technology?
Yeah, the basic spark was I just loved it. I had a teacher back in year 2 that sort of gave me bits to tinker with, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ended up electrocuting myself actually, playing around with it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have had it plugged in at the time.
From 240 volt.
Yeah, exactly.
So was it one of those little tiny tingles, or was it a big shock?
No, it was a bit of a shock.
Okay.
Like the power cut off, and I was all right. So didn't stop me though.
I mean, did you get any superpowers like the spider biting you or something?
No, I reckon they're still to develop.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So that's where it sort of had that spark back then. And
literally.
Exactly. And then when it came time to get part-time job, that sort of thing, I thought, what do I want to do? So I started fixing computers for friends and family.
I know that sort of story very well. I still do that today.
Exactly.
You probably still do it too.
Exactly, yeah. So that was where it started, then doing web design, that sort of thing, and building up from there very early on. It was quite fun.
And so when did A Corp actually start?
A Corp started, so it was end of year 6, start of year 7.
And what year was that?
What year was that? That was 2012 when I was in year 7.
Okay,
so end of 2011, 2012, that sort of time. It was when I really started, and I started actually doing physical computer cleaning. Yeah. So it was cleaning them down.
Sure, the basic maintenance.
Exactly. And then picked up my first client that year, which was cool. Did their website. Around that same time, their server crashed, and they didn't have an IT team to fix it.
So I said, Alex,
oh look, I'll give it a go. Why not? Got them back up and running pretty quickly, which I'm really happy about. And it's snowballed from there, and I've kept growing and taking on customers, all through the support of my parents, obviously. So my first client came about from a contact from my dad. Yeah. He was working for another company, he was one of their clients, so those sort of connections that really helped.
How it all works often, yeah.
Exactly. And look, they're still a client today, which is pretty good.
That's a vote of confidence.
Exactly. And it's going from there, and then continued on through high school. Doing it all with full-time school, working when I could, and then graduated. Took a gap year to focus on my business, got another position at the school's office that helped run my school on their IT team, and that was pretty eye-opening to see this huge, massive IT system and infrastructure. That was running a service catering to thousands of students, staff, many schools. So it was quite eye-opening. And I was part of a team for the first real time because I was always by myself, the lone wolf on the IT team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I moved to Sydney beginning of 2016 to pursue my studies.
So it's university now?
Yeah, currently, I'm studying a double in business and IT.
Okay,
so it's fitting really well with what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So I'm taking.
You're probably one of the few students there who's actually doing it whilst you're studying.
Well, exactly. I mean, I love what I'm doing, so it's tying in really well. So, and luckily, uni isn't 9 to 5 like school was, so it's balancing a lot better. Came to Sydney, start to grow the business, and it's sort of where we are today.
So A Corp obviously wasn't taken when you looked for a business, which you'd imagine, somebody would have had that, but nobody did.
You'd think, So it was all free, so I was like, well, I'll take that. I think I like the sound of A Corp. So it sounds.
Did you ever want to call it A Team? What was that?
Well, I never actually had that thought, and I've thought about this previously, and it could have been. Maybe it could have been the thing. But
I mean, A Corp sounds more professional.
It's the corporate nature of it. I want to be a corporate, mega business one day.
Sure.
So
I just think of my brain thinks of the funny wordplay. I immediately thought of A Team, which I watched as a kid. Yep. And then they had the silly movie.
Well, you see, I'd only seen the first A Team I seen was the silly movie. Yeah. Then having to go back and actually see what it was all about.
So, what was some of the? I mean, you mentioned briefly sort of some of the challenges, but what were some of the challenges over the past few years, and some of the other milestones that have shaped the last decade?
Well, challenges were for a start, it was, to an extent my age.
Yeah.
I was very young when I started, and it was sometimes tough to get your foot in the door.
Sure.
Once the foot was in the door, though, it was kind of easier. They could see my abilities, the dedication I had to what I was doing, so it sort of helped out there. The other challenge was obviously just balancing with school and personal life between not just having a job but running a business. It's quite a different thing.
Yeah, it's not just a milk run, or we're talking much more serious.
Exactly, and if I'm not like any casual job, it was in the same sense. If I'm not working, I'm not getting paid. Yeah. So it was definitely a balancing act, and to an extent still is, and it's good. It's a balancing act I like.
Yeah.
Milestones, I suppose. Obviously, securing my first customer was the best thing ever. It was really great. Most recently, I took in my biggest customer just at the beginning of 2017.
And what sort of their industry, if you can't mention?
An automotive industry, so it was quite a big IT fit that we did for them. So I was ecstatic to secure them as a client, and they're an ongoing client now as well. Other milestones. Well, my move to Sydney was pretty big.
Sure. And where were you from?
So I was from the Hunter Valley originally.
Okay,
a small town called Muswellbrook.
Yep.
It's a mining town. There's horse studs. It's quite a country vibe about it.
Yeah. Well, that's probably given you a really good grounding,
Yeah, it absolutely has. I think you can't take the country out of the boy, but take the boy out of the country.
That's right.
Thing,
and now you're in the big smoke.
Exactly. And it was a huge move, but I think I've taken like a duck to water. It's I'm loving the city. So. Yeah.
And do you have any advice for other startups out there? Young people, old people?
Yeah, look, the best advice I could absolutely give is just, if you've got an idea, go out and do it. Start a business. If you need to start a business, go approach someone to say, I think I've got this idea, I want to make something of it, because that's what I did, and that's what's worked for me.
Yeah. I mean, we've never had a more startup type of culture, society, civilization.
I think now's the time. I mean, even 10 years ago was a lot different to what I was doing and what's being done now. So finding the other side, that's finding people that you can work with and help grow and develop with, and that sort of thing as well, because that's pretty crucial.
So how big is A Corp now? Have you got staff? You got offices and data center server rooms? We've
got a few staff. We got four full-time, including myself, employees. We've got a number of contracts on our books that we use all the time, which is good. They're part of the team. It doesn't matter how they get paid; they're part of the team. So
absolutely,
that's it. So we're growing quite steadily, which I'm happy about. We've got our office here, which is where we say our HQ is.
Yeah, well, we're in Barangaroo, and we can see this beautiful view over there. Is the Opera House. It's wonderful, very inspiring.
Yeah, no, we love it. And then we've got our office back up in the Hunter Valley, where we started. We can't ditch those clients. They're our bread and butter, those ones.
And are you able to offer services across Australia, or are you just focusing on the
No, we are now, yeah. So leaning on distributor partnerships, other MSPs that we can help, and we can definitely service them nationwide, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine you'll travel overseas somewhere and suddenly you've got a client in New York. Or
exactly.
You can do it these days.
We can do anything, exactly. IT, it's a remote culture, we can do anything. We've got infrastructure in data centers now as well, and we provide a whole range of services based on that sort of stuff.
Well, I was going to say, what are some of the key products and services that you're offering to the public today?
So we've sort of aligned ourselves with an end-to-end IT solution for an SMB. So you come to us, we can do practically everything.
Backups, servers.
Yeah, well, we range from obviously
patches.
internet as a first point of call, and we have our own range of connections as well as leveraging wholesale.
So you're providing NBN services to people?
Exactly, NBN, ADSL, fibre services if you
whatever you need.
Exactly. Yeah. Ranging right through to your sales and service, your backup and your support, your security.
New desktops,
exactly.
Whatever you need,
desktops,
right?
the whole thing, and we've grown that portfolio out slowly, which has been crucial to make sure that when a customer comes to us with something, we can provide it.
Yeah, I mean they might say, look, I want to be protected from ransomware. Put on the right systems, make sure I'm backed up to the cloud 3 times over.
Exactly, and that comes down to we don't just sell that product either. We'll actually do the whole service around it, and we will say, look, we'll sit down with you. We'll do your backup plan, your security, your procedures.
Like the IT team for those companies.
Exactly.
Not the A team. Well, you are the IT team, right?
I think we should take that as a marketing thing now. The A team would be great.
That's it. The IT. The AI. Well, you have to think of it cleverly. Yeah. The IT A team. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
And as you said, that's grown, and I mean, obviously, there's so many different cloud services now. You can add. You must be adding things to your portfolio
constantly, but we don't add things willy-nilly. Obviously, we ensure we've got not just a market, but we're trained in it. We know what it is. It actually offers benefit to the customer. No point going into selling something that's going to make us money.
And presumably, if you've needed a particular skill, then you've found a consultant or an employee that you trust and work with, and they can then offer that and be certified in that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's working quite well so far. So yeah, happy with how that's travelling. Yeah.
And presumably, is it PC, Linux, Mac servers, the whole thing, or do you just focus on
primarily PC?
Yeah. Which is the most popular?
Yeah. So Microsoft-based systems is primary. Yeah, it's what works for us. That being said, obviously we support anything. So I've used Mac for many years.
Yeah.
Had other team members, so we're across everything because we need to.
Well, you have to be.
Exactly.
And people want sometimes just help with their smartphone or tablet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is there anything else about A Corp that we should know specifically?
Specifically, we're a pretty driven team. I think we've got some goals to kick in the future. We've had a pretty good start to this year,
and the fact that the year's nearly over, we're about to hit 2018 soon.
Well, exactly, and it's been a good run so far, and we've got some good plans.
How do you think the industry will look in a decade's time? Look at the crystal ball for 2027.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to say, but what we've seen, like trend-wise, huge pushes towards security with new laws coming in.
Mm-hmm. Mandatory disclosure in February 2018.
Exactly. There's outbreaks and ransomware everywhere, so all those sort of things are just going crazy.
I mean, have any of your customers asked you about virtual reality or mixed reality or augmented reality?
Not as yet. I don't think we've got haven't got a customer in need for it, I don't think.
Sure. I'm just thinking somebody might,
might pop up with
want to VR their website or something to offer something, for Samsung Gear users.
Well, we are dealing with automotive companies, so maybe we want to go in and have a look at the cars or something like that.
Well, it's just one of those things we know it's coming, it's already here. It's not as popular as I think some of the tech companies are making now.
It's going to be a thing, I think the other thing is Internet of Things, obviously. Everything's
Internet of Things.
Everything's connected, so...
And the security implications around that
are
insane.
Exactly. So if we're going to have, companies that are needing some way to monitor obscure things in areas, that sort of stuff, that's going to be a big driver. Yeah.
Does anyone ever ask you to set up like security camera systems? I've got one at home. I use the Logitech. I use the Netgear Arlo, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
And you must have people wanting that too.
That too, yeah. I think that they want everything, and that's why we're here. So security, it goes beyond obviously just you're seeing your computer. It goes to physical sort of stuff as well. So hence why we often offer bring it into our data center where it's 100% secure, that sort of thing. So
is that your own data center, or are you doing a colo?
Colo,
which would make sense. I mean, data centers are expensive things to run.
Exactly, expensive to run and expensive to maintain and get those certifications you need.
But you get the ability of scaling with that other data center, and
exactly.
That's good stuff. So look, you did mention a great piece of advice is if you have a business to just start it. Mm-hmm. But is there other advice that you've received that's beyond starting a business that's helped you to get where you are today, which is the CEO of a burgeoning IT company at 21? You've got the rest of your life ahead.
Literally, the critical 2 words I got was don't change. So don't change my personality to achieve anything, to do anything. Obviously, I've got that drive, and that's me.
Yeah.
So if that's you, go for it. You don't have to change yourself just to achieve something, which is pretty critical.
Yeah.
I think going back, if you've got that idea and that problem you want to solve, and you can do it, do it.
It's sort of. I remember hearing something somewhere where they were talking about how people go off to find themselves, and then they found that they were there the whole time and they'd wasted time. Just don't change. Be yourself. Go for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't think of any better advice I'd got than those words, and it was definitely I won't change. This is me.
It also reminds me of the saying where don't wait for the perfect moment, just start, and the moment you'll generate that, create it, and it'll probably never be perfect.
Well,
it's a continual evolution.
Yeah, iteration.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any final messages for IT Wire viewers and readers, and for your current and future customers? And what's your website, for example?
Alright, well, website is www.acorpcomputers.com.au.
acorpcomputers.com.au, yeah.
Last final words, I suppose, I think it speaks for ourselves when my first customer is still our customer today, 10 years on.
Yeah.
And we're pretty keen to secure more lifelong customers. We're not about clipping a ticket and churning over customers and making that revenue. It's about developing strong business relationships that last long times.
Yeah.
And we've got some pretty exciting stuff in the works. Nothing I can
Discloses yet?
disclose
Yeah,
yet,
sure,
but
sure.
we've got some pretty innovative stuff happening.
Watch this space.
Yeah, exactly. Outside the traditional IT realm.
Sure. Excellent. Well, I hope to be interviewing you about that soon, and I wish you and your customers the very best of success.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.